Hello, Ben and Sophie. This layout is about the Battle of Falaise Gap, and it's quite a big battle in Normandy in France in 1944. I'll just mention one or two things. The German tanks and vehicles have the German cross on. I got some decals and fixed them on, so if you see that, that's a German tank. The American ones have the star. In fact, Allied tanks and vehicles have the star, but it's more associated with the Americans. And the Americans are on that side. You can see an American flag over there. On this side, we've got the British, and they tended to use the star, but I put little Union Jacks on so we know that they are British soldiers and vehicles. And these also have the Union Jack, but these are Canadian soldiers because the Canadians played quite a big part. And the Canadians have a slightly different colour uniform. You can see it's a sort of light brown, whereas the British are more of a khaki colour, and the Americans over on the far side are green, and the Germans are in their field grey uniforms. So what's happened after the landings in Normandy? The British and Canadians and the Polish fought for a long time, 6 weeks, trying to force the Germans back, and it took a long time. But in the meantime, the Americans broke out and swept round to the south and encircled the Germans. So that's why we've got the British and the Canadians coming from the north here, and the Americans moving very quickly from the south. And the Germans are desperate to get away. And you can see that they're using the railway line and the road. You see the road follows the railway line to get away to the east. This is Falaise Station. You can see the name on the side of the station building. So at this point, the Germans don't really know that the British and Americans are so close. What time's that? Keep going. So we can see we've got this long convoy of vehicles moving as fast as they can, quite a mixture of things, even some civilian cars like that, equipment and spare engines for tanks and so on. And at the same time, the train, it's a light railway. You can see it's got ammunition. They want to try to save as much as they can. So the train's coming through the station. Get the tank out of the way. All moving east as fast as they can. But the Germans don't have any planes left, but the British and the Americans do. So you remember this camouflaged airbase. This isn't far away. It's been set up in France. And if you have to look carefully to see the planes because they're under camouflage netting. There's a couple of Corsairs, and in this hangar, we'll bring it out, is a Mustang American fighter bomber. You can see that they have bombs to drop there. I think they're bombs. And they're ready to attack the Germans who are fleeing. So we'll do a sortie. Is that, do you want to stop there? That's the introduction.
Yeah.
So that's the introduction, and we'll just pause there before we start the battle. Or maybe I could point out one or two other things.
I think the undercarriage of the plane would be handy again as well.
The undercarriage?
Yes, the bombs.
Yes, I think they're bombs. There may be fuel tanks. So we'll bring the planes out. And this one's carrying a bomb as well. No, I just wanted to, do you want to pause?